Hello everyone and welcome to Rajputjainandassociates. In this video, we will discuss about Import-Export Code and the procedure to apply for Import-Export Code online. So let us begin with what is an Import-Export Code. An Import-Export Code and an IEC is a 10-digit number that is allotted to an applicant requiring to undertake import or export of goods and services to and from India. So basically, IEC is a code allotted to individual PAN number or company PAN number for importing or exporting any good or service and is also used to avail several benefits from the DGFT. Now, in order to get an IEC code, the applicant would be required to submit valid documents and follow certain prescribed procedure so that the Government of India can undertake identity verification of the applicant. So now let's discuss what are the objectives of IEC code. So in order to facilitate sustained growth in exports from India and import in India, Government of India came up with IEC code. Apart from this, the IEC code provides stimulation of sustained economic growth by providing access to essential raw materials, intermediaries, components, consumables, and capital goods schemes that are required for augmenting production and providing services. Next, we come on to the use of Import-Export Code number in India. So, an Import-Export Code is a key business identification number and the same is mandatory for undertaking export and import from and to India. Thus, no export or import can be undertaken by any Indian person without obtaining an IEC number, provided they are specifically exempted. Now, having discussed about the meaning and objective of IEC code, we now come on to the mandatory documents that are required to apply for IEC code number. So for this, the applicant would be required to provide their PAN number, the details of their business for which the IEC number is applied. Then the applicant shall provide their current bank account details. Apart from that, the applicant shall provide the address proof of their business. Also, the applicant would be required to provide the proof of business incorporation, which can be their incorporation certificate or any other proof of establishment. Next, we come on to the procedure of IEC code registration. So basically, there are 7 steps that are associated with the IEC code application procedure. So step 1 is go to the DGFT website. So the applicant would be required to visit the DGFT website to make application for IEC code. Next, in step 2, the applicant would be required to go on to the Login tab. So the applicant shall look into the navigation button bar for the Login tab. After clicking on the Login tab, look for the Create New User option. Next, step 3 is registration of the account on the DGFT portal. So for this, the applicant shall provide the details like their name, email ID, contact number and their address. After this, step 4 is filing of application. In this, the applicant shall fill in the required information in the application form and shall provide the supporting documents in respect of the address proof, proof of incorporation and proof of bank details. Then in step 5, the applicant shall undertake submission of application. So for this, the applicant can submit the application either using Aadhaar OTP or through their digital signature certificate. Next, step 6 is payment of fees. So once the application is successfully submitted, the applicant would be required to make the payment of requisite fees using the online payment methods that are available on the DGFT portal. Next, step 7 is preview and print application. So once the fee payment is successful, the application is forwarded to the authority for the scrutinization and verification purpose. If the application is found correct and in order, the same is accepted and the IEC code is issued to the said applicant. Now coming to the last part of our video, we come on to some of the frequently asked questions on IEC code. So first question is GST mandatory for IEC? So according to the latest circular issued by the government, IEC is not mandatory for all traders who are registered under GST. In all such cases, the PAN of the trader shall be construed as a new IEC code for the purpose of import-export. Next is, what is IEC registration? So import-export code is a key business identification number which is mandatory for the exporters and importers. No person would be able to make export or import to and from India provided they are not allotted the IEC number by the DGFT. Then is DSC mandatory for the IEC code? So the DGFT removed the clause wherein a digital signature was mandatory for filing an IEC application in the year 2018. Since a digital signature certificate has legal recognition, all documents that have a DSC are at par with ones physically signed by the applicants. Next is, can I get IEC code without GST number? So for the person who are not required to register under GST, the PAN number shall work as an IEC code. Furthermore, for all new applicants who are not required to register under GST, the application shall be made to DGFT and the applicant's PAN would be sufficient for authorization of IEC code. Then, who are exempt from obtaining IEC code? So the following categories of the importer or exporters are exempted from obtaining the import-export code in India. First is ministries or the departments of central or state government. Then are the persons importing or exporting goods for personal use not connected with trade or manufacture or agriculture. Then the persons importing or exporting goods from or to Nepal provided the CIF value of a single consignment does not exceed Rs 25,000. Then persons importing or exporting goods from or to Myanmar through the Indo-Myanmar border provided the CIF value of a single consignment does not exceed Rs 25,000. However, one thing to note is that the exemption from obtaining IEC number shall not be applicable for the export of special chemicals, organisms, materials, equipments and technologies as has been listed in the Appendix 3, Schedule 2 of the ITC, except in the case of export by Category 2 of above. The following permanent IEC numbers shall be issued by the categories of exporter and importer mentioned against them for the export-import purpose. So the last question is, does the IEC code require renewal? So the import-export code, once issued, can be used by the entity throughout its existence and do not require any renewal or filing. However, one thing to note here is that the applicant would be required to update their IEC code every year and shall provide the updated details of the respective entity. So this was all about import-export code. For any query, contact Rajputjainandassociates, or you can also visit our website www.carajput.com. Thank you.